Hello, 1 second. So I was watching a video and someone brought up an interesting split of morality that I hadn't considered before. And maybe it's super normal, but it's the first time I'd kind of considered it. And I definitely think in these terms, but again, hadn't considered it specifically, which is the difference between a moral duty, a moral obligation and a moral virtue. What if you don't do it makes you immoral? And what if you don't do it doesn't make you immoral, but if you do it makes you more moral? For example, is giving to charity a moral obligation, a moral duty, or is it a moral virtue? Is there a difference? What is the difference? How do those change potentially how I would view the things that I do? I will maybe look this up and see what some literature is on it or videos on it or something and see what I think. Hello. And see what I think. Because I don't know, it was actually quite an interesting point of maybe the temptation would be to lean all of our moral virtues as obligations and project that onto other people, when in reality that's not necessarily the case. And haven't really thought about it yet. I literally just turned this on as soon as I heard it. Slept very well, thanks for asking. Slept really fast and woke up at 4 again, but then I went back to sleep and I was up at 6. So I got quite a lot of sleep actually, I think. 9:30 to 6. I'm feeling refreshed, less lethargic and heavy, less brain foggy. So I think that the push to wake up at 4, unless I'm sleeping at 8 and I'm falling asleep at 8, it's just not going to work. I can't set my bedtime to 9 and say that I'm sleeping 9 to 5 because that's not how much sleep I'm getting. I would need to maybe give myself 30 minutes leeway and time to wind down to read or listen to a podcast or whatever. Oops, sorry, it's falling off my shoulder. So I think if my goal is to wake up at 5 or something, and I want to be asleep by 9, I probably need to be winding down by 8 at least, to then be in bed by 8:30. So really I'm in bed by 8:30, which somewhere like here is actually plausible to get up at 5. But if maybe getting up at 6 is a genuinely reasonable shot. I did enjoy being up super early and what that felt like and what that let me do and how it made the day feel and stuff, but I did not feel great for those couple of days. Waking up at 6 felt very refreshing. So maybe I aim for so if it's 6 and I want 8 hours, then it's 10, which means 9. Okay, yeah, so 9 o'clock would be my cutoff for starting to wind down. I didn't stretch or do any exercise this morning. I'll start on another day. Maybe I'll do some stuff later. Coding today for the elephant. I will show you if it gets done. I really hope it does, because the guy, Mark, who has been building it basically this whole time, is leaving today. He's kept pushing back his leaving day so that he can see her done, because he's like an engineer. He's been working on it the whole time to fix it because it was broken. And he's doing some electrical work now. I'm gonna go to the office and we're gonna start coding, and if we can get just simple code up, that'd be great, and then I can maybe make a more complex code for her send him a video. But if we can get it up and running and working, that would be really, really lovely. Also, I need to be more careful again about my banned words. Nice, interesting. I really want to be careful with that. And I think I kind of maybe want to get back to not saying good and bad, or like trying to not say good and bad and right and wrong, and like just describe them, to be more choice with my words. And then I also, when it refers to people, I've been enjoying avoiding the word growth and growing. I much preferred the more neutral term becoming. And the analogy that I used was a tree. A seed grows into a sapling, grows into a tree, but then would you say that the tree then grows into decay and rot and grows into fungus and bacteria, which grows into soil, which, you know, it kind of has an implication of direction, and it carries with that direction a positive or a negative value. To say that like growing into a tree is good, but growing into rot isn't really a thing, and so what other term you'd use for it would probably not have as positive a spin. You might say it becomes rot, or it gets turned into rot, whatever, which I think is kind of ascribing a positive or negative value to something that has no positive or negative value. And so the word becoming is more neutral and works for all those scenarios. The tree, the seed becomes the sapling becomes a tree, the tree becomes rot, the tree becomes whatever. So I think that one is always becoming the next thing. And you can view your becoming as positive or negative in context however you want, but I don't want to draw the implication of negative becoming just by it not qualifying for an arbitrary delineation of what growth means as a person. So, shedding all of that bias, binary language. It's all a spectrum, guys. Anyway, I've got to find the next book to read. I finished the Restoration Agriculture book. It had some good stuff in it for sure, and because I don't know very much, it was obviously extremely useful in part, but it was also unbelievably repetitive and unbelievably like presumptive about a lot of things, and in some parts way too detailed about things that I guess shed some context, but just honestly he could have gone through, or his editor could have gone through and found all the times where he mentioned something, and they would have found that he mentioned it like 7 times exactly the same way, and your brain just glazes over it. But there was some good stuff, some practical stuff in there, but I think what I need more is like systemic design principles and overarching principles, more general biology, and then I can go into detail when I know land and specific species or specific things I'm trying to do. I think it's about understanding systems. I need to start at a high level because I just am not in a place to instantiate's not the word. Instigate? No. Do the things that it's saying, or put into practice the things that it's saying. Wow, that's annoying that I can't think of the word. So yeah, gotta think of my next, but I might do something more chill for the next book rather than farming. But maybe I won't. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll read the OG permaculture book. We'll see. Alright, I'm at the office, so I'm gonna go. Bye.
Alright, you can start. So this is start. Then you're waving, waving, waving.
And then if you wait a few seconds, da-da-da. And then we can do this.
Oh, you need to be quick for the reset.
And the reset is, yeah, there you go.
Test button.
Oh yeah.
Because this one is fancy.
Press this one. Because then you can't do anything else.
Yes.
It's not very good, but it works. I tried a very complicated code and none of it worked. So I think I'm going to start layering new things on if they give me time to do it. But yeah, it's cool to have like completed a few different projects here whilst I was here, have discrete things to work on rather than like a lot of other people just doing tasks all the time. But on good, but they're more maintenance than progression, which is obviously important, very important. Got to clean and clear and pack my room and stuff. I figure out if I actually want to take the sarong with me or if I want to cut it into strips. Also, I don't really understand the like circular sarong. I need to look up how people wear that and whether it even fits around my waist properly or if it's too big, or yeah, it's a weird material. I think maybe I'll end up cutting it into pieces, but off to lunch, and then other things. Also, we asked Pato to make a cake. It's Thanksgiving today, so we're getting a special curry, and we asked Pato to make us a cake. So I have no idea what she's gonna sort of come up with, but I probably can't eat it, so I'm gonna make a big pudding, a big coconut pudding for myself, chop some bananas and watermelon on it, and make myself a little thing. I still have passion fruit, but they might be off now, but that would be nice, like a little fruit coconut pudding. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm looking forward to the next thing. Oh, also, I messaged the boat people. They want to charge me 10% plus cancellation fee, which comes to about 500 baht, which is about 10-11 quid, which means I get refunded like 70%, something like that, for the boat. The thing is, it doesn't just save me that money, it also saves me all the travel I would have to do through Laos, seeing nothing, and all of the accommodation seeing nothing. So I think I will cancel the boat. I'll talk to Adri and Katerina because they're also taking the boat around then, but then I can be going from Chiang Mai, figure out the other border from Thailand to Laos and to Cambodia and do that instead. So yeah, also talk to Sarah about when she's going into Cambodia. Actually, that's a good point. Hey, where the hell am I going? Yeah, I think that is the best thing for me. But it's good that I can actually refund even a little bit of it, because most of these you can't refund. So losing £10 is not great, but it's already been costed, and getting some of that money back will be nice. So I think I'm just not going to Laos yet, and that is also good because getting from Laos to Cambodia felt like a freakity frackin' faff as well. But I will miss the idea of a boat. Maybe there's a boat to Cambodia. I don't know. Anyway, good thing I didn't get my visa to Cambodia because I need my entrance point. And boy, would that have not been the right one. Okay, now I think I'm done with my updates for this little walk. Okay, I've cancelled the boat, which is good. I can then, and there's a direct, long but direct minibus from Bangkok to Siem Reap, which means that can be sorted pretty easily. So I could, given that I now have a week basically freed up, take a 2-day travel, go up to the north, back down to Bangkok, through Bangkok to the south, go to some islands for a couple of days, come back to Bangkok, and then travel from Bangkok. So I get to do islands in southern Thailand. Be a lot of long train and bus travel, but you know, worth it, I think. So yeah, I could go to one of the more remote islands, or see if I coincide with a full moon and do a slutty ass full moon party, which will be super scammy and super horny. So I could do that. I think it's just a beach that is insanely packed with like music and alcohol and drugs and all sorts of crazy things. So I guess it'll depend how much we party north and how much I miss it. And if the timing works. But anyway, that makes my life much easier now, so that's very good. Yeah. To the office to get back to work. This is my cake, coconut pudding, passion fruit, banana, frozen watermelon. Honestly, that might be better than a cake, or at least might be better than the cake you get here. Although the passion fruit was quite old, but it smelled fine and tasted fine, so it looks great. I don't really want to put it in my bag though, because then it will tilt, because I'm carrying it on the bike that has no brakes. This bike, the brakes just don't work. I wish I could show you, but I can't. But the brakes don't work. So it's very exciting. Hello. So I'm washing my feet, as I usually do, because I walk around barefoot so much. However, today I went on a little walk to see the try and see the sunset better, and I came across this little mound of grass, and I was like, I'm going to stand on this mound of grass that's a little bit taller than the space around it, and it's going to give me an even better sight over the fields. It'll be great. I take a few steps. A bit sharp. Okay, that happens. Sometimes there are sharp plants in the ground over here. Take another step. Still very sharp. Okay. I see a little clearing, a little patch of safe ground. Like muddy, just stony ground. So I step onto that. It was not safe ground. It was even sharper than the rest of it. And I then realised I have to walk back. I can't even stand still, and I have to walk back through what I just oh my god. To walk back what I just walked over to get there. And in that moment I was like, what the hell have I done? What the hell am I doing? I'm so stupid. But kind of funny. I planned to like run back, like sprint back just for fun to the restaurant. And yeah, didn't do that. I need to get the tweezers to get these thorns out of my foot. And yeah, I had to walk back through it, and it was unbelievably painful, and there was at least one gigantic thorn in my foot that I got out that left it bleeding, like I left a hole in it that was bleeding. For God's sake. But I was glad that my feet are so strong, or that I walked around barefoot so much. I feel like I probably got away less scathed than other people would if they did that, because my feet have hardened from me walking barefoot. Now you might turn around and say, but Adam, the only reason that you have this problem in the first place is because you were walking barefoot. So the fact that the solution was walking around barefoot is funny but very silly, because the solution also would have been wear shoes, you damn ape. And that's true, yes. I have no defense other than I find it very enjoyable normally to walk around bare feet, but I think I will give it a rest until it feels like my feet have recovered from the assault today. But yeah, I was pretty happy how relatively unscathed I feel like I was, to be honest. But I've been noticing a few splinters. Ow. And I had to take one splinter out that was very painful at the table using 2 metal spoons during dinner. So that was kind of funny. But no one really seemed to mind. And even if they did, what are they going to do about it? Come on. These aren't really medical tweezers, so they're you have to get the aim right. Anyway, I think that this is going to be my last video for the day, and then I have to pack tomorrow. I'm doing more coding tomorrow morning. Try and get the elephant, get Elle even better, even cooler. Get her coding perfect. And then, yeah, clean the room, pack. There we go. Clean the room, pack, and that's it. Prepare. I've booked the room for Bangkok. No, not for Bangkok. Booked the room for Chiang Mai for one day before we go to a temple. I'm going with Adrienne and Katerina to the temple. I think I will do it as a silent retreat. That is an option, and it is free, as it should be, to go. So that's great. Also, it's apparently very, very difficult to find non-flying travel to Japan. You'd think there'd be lots of boats, but there aren't. I guess everyone just flies now. So, yeah, there's a splinter. I guess everyone just flies now, everywhere, but I'm trying not to. To be honest, I'm trying not to just because of the plot, because it would be kind of cool not to. But, the environmental factor is not an unhelpful also byproduct of not flying, if that makes sense. It's also a good reason not to. Wow. I think there are little teeny tiny holes that I'm not going to do anything about. Yeah. I don't know if you can even really see me with this angle, but I'm going to be here for a while trying to get this one out. So, I'll see you later. I'll chat to you tomorrow.